Mm. Hello. Hello. Trying a different time this week. Sunday live. Did Saturday last week. Was a bit of fun, so thought I'd have another go at it. Might make it a weekly thing. Welcome. Type in the chat where you're joining from. I managed to choose a crazy time for the live because I think it's Easter Sunday. So I imagine a lot of people are with the fam. So, yeah. Let's see. Got 18 peeps. Hey, what's up? Vocalized. First guy in the chat. Carmelo Basco. Bro, it's Wanhee himself. It is indeed myself, man. How are you doing? Where are you guys joining in from, by the way? Vocalized. Carmelo Basco. Hey, man, what's up? How you doing? Says Gotham. I'm good, man. Like I said, it's Sunday evening here in Seoul, Korea. I think if you're in the US, East Coast, you're kind of waking up 9 a.m. West Coast, you're probably still sleeping 6 a.m. ish. And then if you're in, yeah, we've got Switzerland, UK, Europe, that kind of area. I think you guys will be just after lunch. So technically, this is the time where everyone in the world could be awake, almost everyone. But if I'm in Asia and you guys are in US and Europe, it's pretty hard to find a time that is gonna work for everyone. But good to see you guys jumping in. Yeah, let me know if you guys want this to become a regular thing. Last week I did a live and it went for 2 hours, and afterwards I didn't feel like tired or drained. I actually had a lot of fun, like had more energy at the end of it. So I thought that was a good sign, and I might just do it again, just kind of connect with you guys, answer some questions, go into also like non-fitness related stuff. Yeah. What's up, bro? Action, action. Hey, man. Good morning. Have a great day, night, everyone. Spartan. Spartan, you going to sleep? Wow, this is my first time in your life, bro. Mark Concepcion. Yeah, man. Welcome. How you doing? I'm doing good. It's Easter Sunday. I managed to choose a most random time to do the live, but got some wine here. Gonna show you one of my favorite Korean. How do you call it? Not snacks this time, but it's another tasty Korean meal that's also quite good for protein. Can you guess what it is? We tried to guess something last week. It didn't work. Nobody could guess it, but let's see if you guys can. Yeah, vocalized from Switzerland. I'm Filipino based in Saudi Arabia. Good to have you, mate. Spartan in the States. Good stuff. So you're just waking up. Philippines, been watching you for a while. Nice, Camelo Basco. Tell me what kind of content you want to see going forward. Thoughts on hitting on a gym crush? We have our first official question. What's my thoughts on hitting on a gym crush? I would say do it. Life is too short. Why not? Personally, have I done it? No. Gym for me is like just a space I go to kind of focus on working out and not think about all that stuff. So I haven't done it myself, but I guess why not? Why not? Guess if it doesn't go your way, then you'd be like a little bit in a tough spot. But high risk, high reward. Go for it. I recently saw something that was um, like it was a girl that was posting that how she gets like really horny after a gym session or something. So there's all the info you need right there. Gotham from India. Gotham, I think I spoke to you in my school community, man. Your name rings a bell. It's a Sunday at 6 p.m. By the way, pronounce my name absolutely perfect. I tend to do that. I will butcher some more names going forward. Bangladesh, nice. From all over the world here. Inspired by your videos, Mark Conception. What specifically, man? I'm trying to get some new video ideas as well. Like a lot of people have been saying, obviously, that, like your videos kind of talk about the same stuff, which I do know. So trying to think of new ideas, new angles. Had a meeting with like some people that I want to work with today. They would help me kind of film stuff, come up with ideas, maybe do more day in the life, because some of you guys asked for that as well. So might do that. Um, Tyler, 3 p.m. for me in Germany, 6:30 for me. Yeah, yeah. Preparing for an exam right now. Vocalized. Yeah. Okay, let's get into some Q&A. If you guys have questions, shoot. Hey, what new these days? Shobam. What is new these days? Not much. Not much. Just back on the content side of things. Like I traveled a lot in the first quarter of 2026. So I went to London, then Spain, then Tokyo. So I lost a lot of momentum in my work, in my training, just kind of moving places. So it's good to be back in Korea now, focusing on what I'm doing. And so I got to kind of put my head down and really get into it, really focus on making good content, better content. This is part of me trying something different as well as jumping on lives, kind of connecting with you more, actually answering your questions, and maybe going into like some other stuff outside of fitness as well. So that's what's up. Is it summer in Korea now? Not quite summer. It's like spring. It's coming into spring, actually. Spring's coming pretty late. And now it's cherry blossom week is finishing. So they went full bloom. Everybody went crazy going to the blossoms. Now it's just on that downward trend where you start seeing the green stuff on the trees instead of the white. Yeah. Are we gonna incorporate wine into being lean now? Yeah, man, that's always been the way. Obviously, you don't want to drink wine every night. You don't want to be drinking a ton, but a glass of wine never hurt anybody. A little bit of food I'm gonna have as well. I've already had dinner and I'm gonna have more food. So yeah, you can do this as long as you know what you're doing. Plus, wine helps me calm the nerves. It's only my second time doing the live, so a little bit nervous. So yeah, it helps me kind of chillax a little bit. And it's good wine. Okay, it's the same wine as last week, Grande Barbe Bordeaux. Who knows? Maybe the live will start getting some good French and Italian wine sponsors. Any of you make wine from Italy or France specifically, then hit me up. We'll feature your wine on the on the lives. Yeah. Hello, hello. I liked your vlogs, talks. You should do more of that while showing Korea. Yeah, we love Gov, man. We love Gov. I hear this a lot. People saying they like the vlogs and just seeing more of Korea, how I live. So I'm definitely gonna start doing that. I was thinking about doing a series almost of like just I was talking to my brother about this of like the thoughts that I'm going through as I'm living my 30s. I'm 33 now. So just like stuff that I think about, stuff that I do, things that have changed since my 20s in terms of training, diet, mindset, but also business, friendships, relationships, and just like my future goals, all that kind of stuff. Like when I get talking about it, I can kind of get into it in a nice way, I think. So definitely more vlogs are coming. I even bought a camera that is made for making vlogs. So That's a good way to get yourself to start something, is just like suddenly buy something, invest in something, and you're like, now I bought this, I have to start. Right. So if you guys, any of you want to do content creation or you want to hit the gym, just like go buy a gym membership, go buy a camera, and force yourself to take that first step. Maybe you could do a video for budget dieting long term. Tyler, I was actually drafting up some ideas on videos to make, and I had the idea of like $10 protein versus $100 protein. Also, really budget ways to get high protein, healthy meals. I actually have one that's already edited. That's one of my favorite meals that I have in the UK. It's budget friendly, super healthy, super high protein. So you'll probably see a bunch of that coming out. Nice. You should probably start vlogging, dude. Yeah, maybe I will, man. Did you like the vlogs? Did you like it, Siobhan? What's the biggest lie you tell yourself? Mine is I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, the biggest lie I tell myself? That's a good question. What is the biggest lie I tell myself? I don't know. The first thing that came into my mind was it's interesting. It was everything's gonna be all right, right? So you tell that to yourself a lot. Everything's gonna be fine, you know, but you really don't know if everything's gonna be fine. Like nowadays, the world is pretty crazy, wherever you are, I guess. And personally speaking as well, you're as somebody that runs a business, because of course I create content, but I also have a coaching business. Um, and so when you are self-employed or when you have your own business, everything's always kind of lighting on fire, right? If it like sales might be down, or content might be not going well, there's just a million different issues that come up in one moment. So you kind of tell yourself it's going to be all right, but I guess, I mean, is that a lie? Is that a lie? Because still, it's been going decent. What you hear outside, if I don't know if you can hear it, is the thunder. Very symbolic right now here. Uh, yeah, I'm visiting Korea around October. Things you recommend doing and checking out, from Brett Hensley. I haven't butchered your name there. Yeah, October is one of the best times to visit Korea, actually. Yeah, so first of all, nice choice on the timing. What do I recommend doing? Just walking around some nice neighborhoods. So Mangwon is a neighborhood I recommend. Okay, nice to walk around. Hannam-dong is kind of fancy hipster neighborhood, lots of shops, lots of like people who are hipsters if you're into that. And then obviously the old Seoul, like Gyeongbokgung, Seocheon, like if you want to see the old palaces. So I'd say those areas first of all. And then in terms of things to do, like I would say just eat loads of Korean food, and then do whatever you want, right? I don't really like to do a lot of jumping around museums, going to see like famous you know, buildings and churches and statues. That's not really my thing. I guess I did too much of that when I was growing up as a student. Like I did urban studies, so we traveled a lot across Europe, and every time you're checking out all these famous little like squares and stuff, and none of those churches after a while start like impress you. You're just like, okay, this is Gothic architecture, great. Let's move on. Let's go get some Campari. None of those churches actually would live up to a church in Rome, like the most normal church in the corner of a neighborhood. It's Chef Kevin here in Chicago on this Easter Sunday at 8 a.m. Welcome. Welcome, my man, Kevin Holt. You're a chef. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you joining in on Easter Sunday. What are you making? What are you making? What is the Easter thing? What is the Easter thing they eat other than Easter eggs? Is Easter eggs is a thing in the UK, maybe in the US? What do you eat in Easter in the US? Cherry blossoms here in the UK. Venom Quest, welcome. Yeah, yeah, man. Cherry blossoms everywhere. Hey Wanhee, how to psychologically set myself up for shredding and putting myself in a calorie deficit. I'm training 1 year in a row, but I have quite a lot of fat mass. Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, how do you set yourself up psychologically? You just gotta say, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna get it right this time. The biggest mistake that people make when they go in a deficit is they get really excited. Like you get really excited at the thought of losing fat and getting this new body. And you usually start this journey at a point of maximum expectation and excitement. So you want to get a huge calorie deficit and lose weight fast. And the first sign of progress, you double down and you do it faster and better and more. That's the mistake. Right. So you actually want to hold yourself up, hold yourself back psychologically. So instead of psychologically like setting yourself up in terms of psyching up, you want to psych down and say, I'm actually just gonna like lose weight. So you have big kind of determination, but you're also psychologically chill. Like this time, I'm going to do it in a way that is sustainable, that I'm not rushing it. And I'll just take it one day at a time. If I mess up, I'm going to continue like nothing happened. This is the kind of mindset you want. Yeah. Coming to Seoul in 2.5 weeks, LFG. Yeah, man. You're going to love it. It's a good time to come. Hey, Wanhee, I belong to your community and seeing all the positive results. Thanks for that. I would like you to make videos about leading a minimalist lifestyle and maybe a few on your skincare routine. My skincare routine. I mean, my skin's not good at all, right? Better Korean people to ask than me for skincare. But yeah, minimalist lifestyle. I think I might do this. I might actually kind of lean into like minimalist, maybe style, fashion stuff I've done before. So there's a video literally that's probably gonna come out. I think it's in 40 minutes. That's um that's gonna be on fashion and style. Maybe I'll do more on like general lifestyle, how I set up my life in a minimalist way. Yeah. If there's something specific you want to see as well, feel free to drop it and I'll try to get into it. Yeah. Nice. I'm not sure if you already have done a home workout edition using body weight only, especially in case of emergency. Yeah, I did do some like early on in the day home workouts where you just use like tables, chairs, things like this. So go check it out. It's one of the older videos. But I may make an updated one this summer. This summer because if I travel, I'll be using body weight. I want to do a full body weight workout, maybe in the studio. So maybe I'll do one pretty soon. Stay tuned, Mark. Main thing, right, with training at home and with body weight is to really make exercises difficult. The biggest mistake people make with bodyweight training is just doing the same things like push-ups and squats and push-ups and squats. It's like you got to make the push-up harder. You got to get to one-arm push-ups. You got to try and build up to pike push-ups. You got to try and build up to handstand push-ups. Of course, these are like some of those are advanced exercises you won't be able to do from day one, but that's your goal. You're always trying to push the exercise difficulty. That's like increasing the weight on the bar in the gym instead of just doing more push-ups. Hi, Wanhee. Maybe you could explore videos testing different health and fitness plans. Don't know what you mean by that, but maybe you mean like trying different routines and kind of reviewing it. Not really. I don't really do that. I have my thing. I enjoy my routine. So maybe some health protocols. Who knows? I knew it. It was Bordeaux. I could smell it. Yeah, yeah. You like wine? I like. I actually like Italian wine more than French wine, but this was just the wine I had in the house, and it was pretty good. And in Korea, right, we always eat while we drink. I mean, I don't always do that, but can you see what this is? Can't really show you properly. Maybe if I tilt this down. This is Korean eel. Well, it's just any eel. I don't know if it's Korean actually. This is ginger, and this is like the sweet dark sauce. I don't know what this is. Sweet sauce that you have. You have these three, and in Korea we call it anju. So all of you guys that are like, what do I do when I come to Korea? When you go for Korean barbecue and you're drinking with your friends, have some anju and just have a nice time. So you take the eel, you put it in the sauce, with the ginger. Yeah. Of course, if you're trying to get lean, don't be having anju. Just be having the meat. Yeah. Good. Mm, nice. Yeah. Any good wine bars in Seoul? Good wine bar. Oh, wait, that reminds me. Yeah. So, first of all, any good wine bars? There's probably loads. Like in that area, I said Hannam-dong. There's like kind of fancy hipster places filled with that kind of stuff. Also in Mangwon, you're gonna find a couple. Um, none that are like specific off the top of my head that I could give you. But one thing is like I when I lived in Italy, there was this thing like it's a wine bar, but in Italy they call it enoteca, right? And this particular wine bar was called Enoteca Molinari in Rome, and I used to go there. And it's like if you imagine an English like a British pub, and if you've been to London, if you've been to the UK, like outside these pubs after working hours, like all of these guys are just standing outside with pints of beer, drinking, talking. But in Italy, they do that, but with wine. So like you go in, you get a wine glass, and instead of a wine bar where you sit by the bar and you're like sipping and trying to be all fancy, like people be taking their wine glass, standing outside like it's a pint of beer, and it's such a vibe, you know. I just remembered that being such a good vibe. I wanted to recreate a lot like French cafes as well. Like some of them, the vibe where you sit outside and you look at people. Like there are certain vibes I got from Europe that I wanna. I don't know. I really like it, and I want to kind of recreate in my own way. And Enoteca is one of them. And so I've been thinking, like, what if I get like a space in Korea here in Seoul, and like try to turn it into an Enoteca of sorts, and then have like not try to make it into a full fledged like successful business or whatever, but just like it pays the bills. It's like a wine bar, kind of recreated, double down as a studio, make content from there, make content about it. Like it's like one of my, I guess, silly romantic ideas. Anyways, I had this idea, and today on this marketplace, like one guy put his place up, which kind of would be perfect for it to turn into a wine bar, and then the second floor is something else. So who knows? I didn't think I'd be talking about this, but you might see like in a few weeks a video saying like I, I'm making a wine bar in Seoul. Yeah. Also, how to make sure you stay fit and work out when you are in vacation. Yeah, man. The main thing there is just you got to plan ahead. Most people go to vacation holidays without thinking about whether they're going to train or not, right? You kind of accept it as this like new reality. You're going to be in some random place. And then you just say, oh, you know, I'm just on a trip now. So I guess I can't train. I'm on a trip, you know? And then you try to train. And then whoever you're with, your wife, your girlfriend, your friends are like, what do you mean you're going to go to the gym? What do you mean you want to do jujitsu? We're on a trip. We're only here for 3 days. Oh, okay. And you just go with the flow. This is how 90% of people do it while they're on vacation, which is fine if that's how you want to do it. That's actually fine. And if you just relax and just chill on vacation, come back and pick up where you left off, that's also very, very fine strategy. I do recommend that for a lot of people. But if you're somebody that's like, I'm on a roll here, I'm doing well, I don't want this vacation to throw me off the progress that I've been making, then you got to plan ahead, scout gyms in the area that you're going to be staying around, and actually like even look at like, okay, do they have a day pass? Do they have a week pass? What times are they open? And then kind of plan in your head, like Monday, I'm going to go do this. So Tuesday morning, I'll train. Wednesday, I'm going to do this. And then Thursday evening, I'm going to train. Even if you don't end up sticking to it, just having that plan is huge. And then just like saying it to whoever you're going with in a way where it's like, yeah, this is important to me. I'm going to do it. This is a huge thing, a huge thing. I'm going to make a video on how to set boundaries better because like what I found is it trips up so many people, including myself earlier. in my fitness journey. It would like trip so many people up is just like the issue of saying no to friends and family. Um, yeah. And as I always say to people that I coach, it's like, if you let every holiday and every freaking event like Easter Sunday, right? We're on Easter Sunday now. If you let every little event be an excuse to kind of just chillax and throw you off track, you'll never get to your goals. There's enough events in a year to screw your physique up for the whole year. Right? It's Easter now, then it's like, well, it's your friend's birthday, then it's your whatever, your anniversary, then it's the summer holiday, then it's this somebody's wedding, then it's your national holiday. You see, like there's enough times for you to never really make any serious change. Okay, let me speed up a little bit. I've also decided I'm going to casually ignore questions that I don't want to answer. Okay, if I ignore any, just you can think that's what happened. What's your thought in using creatine as a workout supplement? Creatine's cool. I don't use it. I got hair loss from it. Like, I think it's pretty like actually true because I've tried creatine twice within like 10 years of each other, and both times I started losing hair. And apparently, there's one study that they did with creatine with rugby players, and the rugby players started losing hair, but that's like the only study or something. So there's not enough evidence to make hair loss an official side effect of creatine. But my personal experience has been that, so I don't do it. But if I did not have that side effect, I would take creatine because it not only does it help you gain strength and train and hold more water in your muscles, so you get bigger. Um, it's people are talking now about how it helps your brain function, right? So that's my thought. What should I look for in a PT? What should you look for? Just I would say just somebody who can. Whoa, lightning! Did you see that? Jesus Christ! Gee, God damn! That is some cinematic shit. God damn! What should I look for in a PT? Look for whatever vibes with how you want to train. New fashion vids, your last few were really good. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm trying to lean into it a little bit. I feel like a lot of fashion advice, I could bring a slightly different angle to it. Because if you have like one of the main points I make in the video that's literally coming out in like half an hour is like, have you seen how fit like fashion influencers, people who like dress up on Instagram and they're like, oh, I bought this thing from here and this thing from there, and look how well I dress. Like those guys never look that good. Like they look better than the average Joe because they really tried hard and everything. Like we get that, but they never look so good that you're like, wow, like I want to be like them. Okay. So there's something psychological when it comes to style and fashion, where if you make it your main thing, you'll never look as good as somebody who's not made it their main thing and the fashion just flows out of their lifestyle and they still look good because they still wear good clothes according to certain aesthetic principles, I guess, but it's more the fact that they live a certain life and have a certain vibe, right? So that's kind of what I go into in the video. Yeah. Any training advice for shift workers? Yeah, that's tricky. I have some clients who are night shift workers, like nurses, and they have a ton of trouble when it comes to managing their food, their hunger, because yeah, I mean, like when you start like seeing what happens with night shifts, like you really understand how important sleep is, not just for your like your mood and your energy, but for your hunger cycle. Like when your sleep's backwards, your hunger's backwards, and you don't really know when you're truly hungry and when you're not. So you get really confusing signals. So what I say usually in terms of training advice for shift workers is when I did shift work, like night shift work in the military, there would still be some order in the chaos. Like, for instance, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I might work overnight. But then usually, like that shift might change, but usually a week ahead or 2 weeks ahead, you get a timetable and you see like those are the days I'm working overnight or working whatever shifts. And then you have to plan around it. So you say, okay, so I have to do the training that I was going to do on Tuesday on Monday. I got to do the training I was going to do on Friday on Thursday, and really make these plans like I said for the guys going on vacation. Yeah. Honestly, and long to you, congrats. You came a long way, bro. You dabbled in the cool aesthetic. Want to know your personal thoughts on your masculinity, on my masculinity and how I nurture it. I don't know what you mean by that, man. But thanks for the congratulations. Yeah. Have you invested in Bitcoin? A little bit, a little bit. I do have a little bit in Bitcoin, but I haven't really gone like all in, or done anything big with it, because I don't really know that much about it, right? So it always kind of like, even though I learn what I can and I kind of dabbled my toes in there, it's like, if I don't really get it, all I'm going off is people's predictions, whereas like with fitness, I kind of get it because I learned it with my own sweat and my own body, right? So I guess you got to spend some time really learning Bitcoin, winning and losing money, to kind of really do well with it. But yeah, short answer is a little bit, but not too much. Are you most South Koreans atheists or Catholics? I don't know, man. I think it's mostly I think the biggest religion in Korea is Protestant, but Protestant, as in Christian, sorry, not Protestant. Um, but yeah, we have a ton of Buddhists. We have, I'm sure, a lot of atheists in a young group. So nice. Let's have another eel. Is there anything you think London has better than Korea in terms of living and quality of life? Good question. What has London better than Seoul in terms of quality of life? Green space. One of the best things about London is that every area usually has like a little green park. It's one of my favorite things about London. Like, you have Hyde Park, you have all kinds of parks: Regent's Park, Battersea Park, Victoria Park, Holland Park, like tiny parks, massive parks. Everywhere you go, there's a little green space. Even each individual house has a tiny little green garden. So the psyche of the UK kind of housing and space is, each person needs their space to be healthy and have some green space and all this kind of stuff, right? In Korea, we got none of that. Okay, we got a high population. Every little space has to be used for, housing profits. So you got high-rise apartment blocks. So that's the biggest difference that comes to the top of my head. And then if you go a little bit deeper, like socially speaking, I know London's going through a lot of hate right now. A lot of people are saying London's pretty difficult to live in because of rising costs as well as safety issues. So in terms of safety, like just safety from pickpockets, things like this, people like mugging you, much, much, much safer in Korea. Like, I could leave my phone, my watch, my computer in a cafe, go out for an hour and come back. Obviously, it's not nice to do because the cafe has to do their business. But if I did that, like 95%, 99% chance everything's still there just as it is. Okay. Whereas in London, you could literally take your eye off your stuff for like 5 minutes and it could be gone. So in that sense, I guess Seoul is better. Um, but socially speaking, I think Korea has a lot of stress, a lot of peer-to-peer like competition, peer-to-peer like stress. It's a lot of stress that comes from military, that comes from people gaslighting each other. Like, yeah, man, it's hard to explain. Any Koreans in the chat? Any Koreans who wanna who know what I'm talking about here? Yeah. Lamb, Lent is over. Jesus, I'm behind on the chat. Kevin, you're cooking lamb. Good stuff. Yeah. Hey, Wanhee, what's up? What's up, Immortal Sherman? Christian 956. How to lower social media consumption and get better attention span? Good question. How do you lower social media consumption and better attention span? Yeah. So you better attention span by lowering social media, right? So that much is clear. How do you lower social media? One of the best things you can do, in my opinion, is just delete the app. So I deleted Instagram And I keep re-downloading it to post things like, I'm going live and things like this. But I really try to limit my time on Instagram, because I said this in one of my videos. Like, I go on Instagram and I'd be like, I need to search this jiu-jitsu gym I'm going in Shanghai, right? So I go on the search bar, and then I'll see a whole bunch of stuff. It could be jiu-jitsu videos, it could be fashion, it could be like sexy girls, whatever the fuck's coming up on my screen. I'm like just looking at it, and then I forget what I'm gonna search for. I forget it. And then I spend like 20 minutes, and I'd be like, wait, I swear I was gonna search something. So I'd come out the app, I think for a good 5 minutes, and I go back in and like, oh, it's a jiu-jitsu gym in Shanghai. And I'd hit the search button, and the same thing would happen again. And when it happened twice, I was like, okay, this is clearly something's wrong here. Okay, something's wrong. So I just deleted the app. So YouTube, I obviously have. Instagram, I download to post stuff, but that's the best way. Okay, like if you think about how addictive social media can get in terms of like those pink buttons. Like they tested probably all the colors and arrived at that specific shade of red, and the notifications and the algorithm and super brain AI feeding you exactly what you want to see in the next moment. It's designed to hook you, and you're supposed to have it in your hand like your phone the whole time. It's kind of weird how they set that up, right? Like you have it. Imagine if you had a drug and they were like, don't do the drug, but just hold it in your hand for like 12 hours a day. Don't do it. Just hold it there and sleep next to it and use it while you sleep, but don't actually take it. That's kind of weird. That's pretty much what we have with phones and social media. Home workout is great. Yeah. Got a question. Spent the last 2 months walking 3.5K a day, swimming. Got any tips for CNS training? Want to lead strong body? Yeah, man. CNS training, I guess what you mean is like central nervous system. So if like what you said before, I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but I guess what you're saying is how do you kind of increase your mental capacity to take on a lot of work? And the only answer to that is just doing a lot of work and going through it, but also giving yourself a bit of rest so you don't reach burnout. Okay. Yeah, that's the short answer. Yo, Wanhee, love your work. Thanks, man. Cheers, brother. Fantastic. Go for it. Yeah, thanks. Did you say you live in Hannam? Don't know. I don't. In Gangnam, I flex. In Hannam, I reflect. What the hell? What the hell is that, man? In Gangnam, I flex. In Hannam, I reflect. I would say Hannam is pretty flex too, man. I do not live there. I saw you were in Shanghai for vacation. How was it? Is it doable for non-Chinese speakers? Yeah, I'm not a non-Chinese speaker, in case you didn't know. But Shanghai was awesome. It's like I was thinking like, why does everybody use Facebook, Instagram, Google, except China and Russia, right? Like all these countries use US based social media, except China and Russia. I think that's quite interesting because they've said at a certain point, we cannot give you that amount of data and information about us. So they made their own Instagram, their own social media. And apparently in Chinese YouTube and Chinese Instagram, you can get like 1 billion followers, maybe not 1 billion, but like, 100 million followers, and they have their whole thing. And China, the Chinese mentality is kind of like, we don't need the rest of the world. Like we're so big, we have so many things, so many regions, so many people, so many languages, so many cultures. Like the whole of the rest of the world is like nice, nice, but we don't need you, you know. And if you go to China, you'll actually see like how grand that country is in terms of how it operates, in terms of the technology, in terms of their ability to produce absolutely anything. You really get the sense that they don't need the world needs them, right? You've never seen high-rise buildings until you've seen Chinese high-rise buildings. People think made in China clothes are like bad quality, right? That's what we kind of assume when you see Chinese and it's true in some sense, like made in China clothes can be bad. But what I realized in China is they've got every level, literally every level, from the worst to the absolute best. I swear, I just went into a random shop in China and I started touching like the fabric of the clothes, and like I was trying them on, like cashmere, and then they would bring out like extra fine wool. And I've never felt wool that was that thin and that soft. And so they have every level of everything. So I'm kind of going all over the place, but I was very, very impressed by China and Shanghai. But that doesn't mean I want to live there, right? I didn't like it. Just felt also like kind of too grand, like kind of apocalyptic in some ways. So like, yeah, mixed feelings, but definitely impressive. And you realize kind of that we live in like the US based kind of frame of the world, and going to China, and I'm sure going to Russia will be similar. You do see that these historical rivals, they have something else going on, in without any kind of moral judgment or politics coming into it. Yeah. I started my weight loss journey for 5 months. I went from 74 kg to 60 kg and I slimmed down a lot, but I still have belly fat and abs are not showing. I'm 25, Asian male, 168. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man, you got to build more muscle, Oscar. You got to build more muscle across your entire body. Do heavy compound lifts, get really strong, and that's the way. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to go so deep into like personal numbers and exact like personalized work plans. Obviously, I have my coaching program for that. So, but general rule: if you're slimming down and your abs aren't showing, it means your body fat is too high, right? Even like visceral fat, like fat inside of your body. You want to build muscle across your entire body with heavy compound lifts. Thank you so much, Wanhee. Thanks, Mark. I forgot what you're thanking me for. Can you make a video about reducing dopamine? Um, what do you mean reducing dopamine? Why would you want to reduce dopamine? Um, yeah, I guess not getting unnecessary cheap dopamine spikes, right? Yeah, maybe I'll. I mean, to be honest, it's not really. Do I do that? Do I try to reduce my dopamine? I'm not so sure. Um, Reducing dopamine, maybe I'll think about it. It's not really my thing. How many sets do you recommend per muscle group per workout? How many sets? I would say per workout, maybe 6 to 8. Yeah, sets. Yeah. Top 3 YouTube creators you like to watch. Top 3 YouTube creators. Let me think. Who have I watched? Hmm. I think there's a fashion guy, a Korean guy who makes content that I watch. I don't think any of you would know them. So yeah, there's that guy. Who else? What do I actually watch on YouTube? I watch like football highlights, UFC highlights. Um, I watch some random vlogs and stuff here and there just to kind of get ideas for what I want to make. But literally, as you say that, I don't even remember who I watch. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if I had to choose, it'd be like football highlights, UFC stuff. Stun gun, Korean UFC guy. If someone does strength training, does BMI matter? I'm 5'5" and 71 kg. Don't know when to cut or lean bulk. Um, if someone does strength training, does BMI matter? I'm 5'5" and 71 kg. Yeah, that I don't like. It's a confusing question, man. The BMI, don't care too much about BMI right now. Okay, if you're 5'5" and 71 kg, you should most likely do a cut. So you should cut and get strong at the same time. So do a body recomp. Tony, do you walk a specific amount of steps every day? Does it depend between when you're on a rest day versus worked out? Yeah, 10K steps every day. That's what I try to do nowadays. Does it depend between when you're on a rest day or worked out? It does when I'm not really caring about getting lean, right? I'll try to do it on the rest days, like maybe 3 times a week, 4 times a week, if I don't care about getting lean that in that season. But like nowadays, when I'm trying to get lean, it's every day. It doesn't matter if I worked out or not. Yeah. Sunday, today, I didn't work out. I didn't do jiu-jitsu. I didn't do gym. I walked in the morning and I walked again. Okay. On like 11K steps, I think. What you up to, bro? I'm doing this. How long did it take you to learn Chinese Mandarin? I did not learn Chinese Mandarin. Soul, Sun Soul. Yeah, that's pretty funny actually. You should post a workout vlog. Yeah, I might. I might. I think what I might do is like a riverside workout vlog. Yeah. Um, who's your favorite fighter? Favorite, I guess, UFC fighter. Who's my favorite fighter? I quite like Ilya Topuria. I know he gets a lot of hate, but just based on fighting skills, like that guy is just insane. I love the technical side of Topuria. I also like his chat. Like, again, people give him shit for him trying to be like what do you say? Like trying to copy Conor McGregor and stuff. But yeah, I think he's great. I like Topuria. Yeah. Have you heard of Kinobody? If yes, what are your thoughts? Yeah, of course. Kinobody is like an OG in the fitness space. Yeah, he's great. I think he recently came out with this video about using like a GLP. So a load of guys were asking about GLP. If you know some stuff about it, put it in the chat. But like, I don't know anything about GLP and these fat loss drugs that are recently coming out. So people are saying that it's really effective, recommending it a ton, but I don't know. I never thought about it. I don't think I ever will use it. But I think if I had to label myself, I would be a slow adopter, you know? Like I wish I was a faster adopter of the new tech, but I'm a bit of a slow adopter in that sense. Yeah. Anybody know about like GLP and stuff? Like stuff that they use? Maybe. Whoa, first Korean comment. 항상 잘 보고 있습니다. 응원합니다. 감사합니다. 다정하게 상처 주의. That's a pretty funny handle there. The nickname means kindly, no, yeah, friendly, kindly hurting someone is the handle. But yeah, thanks for the kind words there. What about Islam Makachev? Yeah, Makachev is awesome as well. He's great. I'm into jiu-jitsu a lot, so I've been trying to do the short das. When you don't go all the way in, trying to do the das choke the Makachev way. Uh, yeah, I mean, Islam is just, I think, pound for pound the best right now. So it'd be great to see Islam Topuria. That would be an insane fight. I mean, I think that's going to happen next after Topuria Arman. Probably, hopefully. Hey, Wanhee just joined. What's on the menu for wine? Also, what are your thoughts on losing 5 pounds fat a week? Too slow or too fast? It's too fast. 5 pounds a week. That's hardly possible. Yeah, don't do that, man. Try to lose like 2 to 4 pounds a month. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, he got flagged for hopping on GLP just because it's pharmaceuticals and it went against his whole philosophy. Yeah. Thunder Drake, yeah. 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 I mean, it's one of those things like it could be that science got the better of fat loss. That would be pretty cool, huh? I think it's good to keep an open mind. Like the thing with steroids as well, like everybody, it turns out that was huge, like fat nose bridge and veins on their shoulders and chest there. Like all of these guys that acted like they weren't on steroids were on steroids. And now it's kind of like becoming almost like normal for like even young people to do steroids and all this kind of stuff. I think that's fucked up, but um yeah, so is GLP, other fat loss drugs, going to be kind of like that, where there's all these side effects that we don't really know about, and then it's kind of there's really just downsides to doing it, or is it going to be something where like science actually found a chink in the armor, like it actually uh, can help us beat fat loss in a healthy way. Who knows? How to get over height insecurity. I'm 5'4", being a pain. How to get over height insecurity? Do I have height insecurity? I guess one could say I have a little bit of height insecurity. Um, because guys, Koreans are tall. Koreans, not only are they tall, all the dudes, I swear, are wearing like mini cushions in their shoes. Like they wear these like height enhancing cushions, cushion thingies in the sole, inside of their shoes. So nowadays I go out, I'm like, did I get shorter or is everybody freaking tall in Korea? It's pretty funny, but yeah, I think how do you get over height insecurity? You just gotta develop other sides of your personality. There are things you can't change. Things you can't change. So you just gotta make yourself interesting in other ways. You have an incentive to do so, right? Napoleon was short. A lot of great men were short. A lot of stylish people are actually short because they had to develop some style, right? A lot of tall, good-looking, your traditional like 6'3", good-looking guy, like they never had the incentive to develop other sides of their character, right? So a lot of the times you meet these guys and they're like empty tin cans. They're boring as fuck. There's nothing to say. It's just really standard, your average Joe convo. And it's like get bored real quick, right? So you got to use it as fuel, if you like. Guha Arnab. Yeah. Hey, on here, I didn't say 5 pounds a week. I said 5 pounds. Yeah. 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 Would you wear those pillows in the shoes? Would I wear it? Who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I don't know. How tall are you? I am 5'9", I think. It's 175. Have 5'9", 5'8", 5'9". Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think we've done the questions. If you have more questions, put it in the chat. I'm gonna go use the restroom. How do I mute this? What's up? What's up, guys? What would be your minimum standard for a decent shoulder press with dumbbell? Um, this exact question came last week on the live as well. Uh, Shoulder press with dumbbell, I would say 20 kg each side is the first like big milestone. So you can do 20 kg each side, so 45 pounds. That would be, I wouldn't say the minimum, but that's just like a good first standard. Then if you can do 30 kg each hand, this is pretty good. And if you can do 40 or above on the shoulder press, 40 kg or above each side, then you're advanced. That's some serious shit. Um, Lifted for 10 plus years, just got into BJJ for a little over a year, training twice a week. Yeah. Any advice for a white belt who's trying to get better? Yeah, man. Nice one for starting jiu-jitsu. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're just like me in terms of like lifting first and then getting into jiu-jitsu and training very smart twice a week. That's first of all, you're doing the right thing. Maybe go up to 3 times a week if you can, but keep it at that sweet spot where you're not overtraining and you're just kind of just doing like that minimalist way to train so you stay consistent. And then how do you get better with when you're a white belt? I think it's just about learning to be comfortable in bad positions, right? So really focusing more on escapes, uh pin escapes, guard retention, that kind of stuff. I think pays off a lot later because I still roll with people that are blue belts and they're like, once they get their guard passed and you put a little bit of pressure, they don't actually have a system to escape. Like you can try and escape and be crushed by someone better than you, but you should still have like know-how on how to escape certain positions, right? So really focusing on that, I think is gonna pay off long term. And then also learning in terms of concepts. I think this is huge. Like if you're that kind of person, by the way, there are some people that like to learn by just grinding and just going and getting smashed all the time. Like if you're that kind of guy, like then that's your way of learning. I've always been a little bit more like conceptual about it. Maybe you can tell like from just talking to me and stuff. So like obviously like John Danaher, Gordon Ryan, these guys will teach in this very conceptual way where they'll talk about things like inside position. Like inside position is such an important concept for jiu-jitsu. How like if they have the inside position on you, your escapes are shut down a lot of the time. So you should always fight for inside position, whether it's your crossface, whether it's this crossface arm that's coming, whether it's a butterfly hook with the legs. Like so, if you have that concept in your mind, a lot of the escape patterns become like natural. You don't want people to have wedges underneath you, like so. Conceptual learning, um, pin escapes, guard retention, and just staying minimalist with it so you don't burn out and give up after 3 months, which I've seen so many people do with jiu-jitsu. I can barely do 10 sets of 12 kg each hand, so long way to 30 kg. Yeah, man, you'll get there. You'll get there. You just gotta keep trying. Keep uh 10 sets? You mean 10 reps? If you're doing 10 sets of 12 kg, man, that's why you're not getting stronger. I hope you mean 10 reps. Chewy wins. Chewy wins. Come on, man. Watch my videos. 10 reps. Yeah, exactly. Any inspiring movies, shows, books, or music that keep you pushing forward? Nice question. Oily Bolognese. Look at these names. Oily Bolognese. Man, I love my Bolognese. I would cook that shit for 3 hours. Um, yeah, Bolognese is a science, isn't it, when you live in Italy? So, are you Italian? Oily Bolognese? Maybe clearly not because you make it oily. Huh? You put half pork, half beef. What do you put in your oily Bolognese? Bolognese is made with the sofrito, right? With the carrot, celery, onion combo, tomato paste, pork and beef. Any inspiring movies, shows, books, or music that keep you pushing? I don't know about keep pushing me forward. Inspiring movies. There's a ton of movies. I don't know about inspire. When was I inspired by a movie? I don't know. Inspiring movies. I like Inglorious Bastards. So Tarantino's dialogue, like I guess that's inspiring in a way. Like how somebody can create such fun dialogue, right? Another Tarantino movie I really like is he wrote this one is True Romance. Right? Some dialogue in there that's like, how can you be? There'll be so much suspense and humor and just everything in one scene with just two people talking. So I'm inspired by these things, and also Snatch is a movie I like also. Shows shows Breaking Bad I like. Peaky Blinders. Books. This one right here. I'm not sure how many of you know this one. The Brothers Karamazov. Best book I read in my life, I would say. That one is, I wouldn't call it inspiring. It's like, but it's pretty fucked up. Yeah. Music that keep me pushing forward. Music, I have really varied taste in music, to be honest. Like, if I was to show you my Spotify like collection, it has like old Korean songs that are about the pain of being a soldier, and then you'll have like very recent like hip hop songs that like maybe a 14-year-old would listen to. So it's just a bit of everything. I don't really get inspired by music so much. Yeah. Yeah. How did you progressively overload with weighted pull up? I'm stuck at 10 kg additional weight, 77. Yeah, it's quite hard. It's quite hard. At a certain point with weighted chin ups and pull ups, you always get stuck. So when you get stuck for more than 2 weeks, I would say switch to weighted chin ups. It's a good one. Morning, morning, Cindy. Thanks for advice, man. I remember the first 6 months was brutal. I would feel like shit after practice and just felt humiliated. Getting better and starting to enjoy it more now. Yeah, yeah. That's everybody. That's everybody. I feel like jujitsu is one of those sports where there's like it's almost like a how do you call it? Like a rite of passages. Is that what you said? Like there's that period, the first 6 months, where whoever you are, whether you are athletic in school, whether you think you're like really hard and good at fighting or whatever, like whatever you are, you will go in and get your ass whooped for a while by people that should not beat you. That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu, actually, because what does that signal to you deep down is like a guy who shouldn't beat me is beating me, so it must be the thing he's using. So then instead of getting butt hurt, instead of getting your ego hurt, you say, that skill is pretty damn sick. I want to learn that skill. So you actually develop, if you're smart, right? You develop respect for the skill and then you want to learn it. And that's how people get hooked and stay beyond the humiliation part. But a lot of people actually will stop, not just because they got their ego hurt, but also because in the process, like, yeah, they just run into like practical issues of consistency, injuries, just getting tired. Yeah. So there, yeah. Do you find trouble finding new male friends in your 30s? Yeah, that's a good question, man. I like these kind of questions. We're on a live, just not many of it. We're just chilling. Let's talk about life. What's your advice on this? Trying to find a new tribe to get new vibes, but I keep getting women instead. Dude. Um, yeah, it is difficult to find male friends in your 30s if you're in a specific period in your life. Like you're trying to work on your business, you're trying to really focus on like building your thing. I think that's kind of what I went through. I used to always be that guy that had a friend next to me at all times. Like this is literally since I was in primary school in Korea, before I even went to the UK. Like I would always have guys coming round to my house. We would play football, we would just like do shit. And then when I went to the UK, I always had, these friends. And then in high school, I had this guy called Philip. I'm sure he's not watching, but this dude was like, he would come around to my room. He would talk to me about Peter the Great, like some Russian emperor king, and we'd like nerd out and we'd play Dota. And because he was always in my room and I was always chilling, like everybody knew when you go to Wanhee's room, there's Philip and Wanhee, there's two guys. So people would start coming. And then my room would become this communal space. It was the same thing in university with Malik, you know, my best friend, my Moroccan best friend, also not watching this right now. Uh, but yeah, so I always had a person around me, except when I came back to Korea after quitting the PhD, doing the military, and then I locked in to start this YouTube thing, I was like, this is my chance to do something, right? Actually make a business out of it, to make something of my career. And so I just locked in and worked really hard and found joy in work. And then you kind of just don't have time. You literally don't have time for friendships. And a lot of friendships kind of end up taking your energy and time, right? Dating is the same. Like women, men, it's the same thing, right? So you kind of go into this like tunnel vision dungeon, and you just work and work and work, and there's rewarding things, and you grow a lot. But then at the end of it all, you're sat there and you're like, where are my friends? Like, I should have some friends, right? And then you try to make friends, and it's like, well, how do you make friends, right? So I guess my friends, except I am going to see my my like childhood friends next month. Right? We meet like once a year or something. But other than that, I guess like my friends would be the people that I do jujitsu with, and that's it. Like so, in answer to your question, it's quite hard. Not inspiring, but Netflix Chinese anime Scissor 7 is hilarious. Cool. I just dressed my 1 month old in his best button up shirt and pants. Cool. Is everybody just making random statements right now? Is that what's happening? Oh, you just dressed up your 1 month old in his best button up shirt and pants. That is pretty cool, man. Nathaniel Patterson. That is pretty cool. He's gonna remember that moment. Yeah, button up shirt and pants. Actually, there's a bit. Actually, the video just dropped, right? My fashion based video just. I think it just went out like 5 minutes ago. There's a bit I do where I talk about like babies. It sounds weird, but I say like babies that are dressed by their parents like they usually look good in terms of fashion. Obviously, yeah, you can check it out if you want to know what I'm talking about. If we start working out at home and don't go to the gym, is it worth taking in creatine, or how would you recommend me doing it? I don't take creatine, man. Okay, gives me hair loss. Uh, the guys that do take creatine say just take it. Just take it whenever. It doesn't matter the timing. Just take five milligrams, 10 milligrams a day. Do your own research. Do your own bloody research. That's what I gathered. Bro played Dota 2. Dude, Dota 1. Who plays Dota 2? Dota 1. World of Warcraft days. I was well into Dota. I wasn't that good, but it was damn fun. Who played Dota? Howdy, Stevie Schuster. You're back. I think you were here last week, man. Hello, Stevie. Uh, yeah. Koshik, if you didn't end up doing YouTube for your career, what would you choose to be? I think quitting PhD must be a very difficult period of your life with all the social pressure that comes with being an Asian. Love that logic at the end there. Yeah. Yeah, man. If I didn't do YouTube, what would you choose to be? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. But what I felt was like when I was in the military, it was kind of clear that I wouldn't function very well in a Korean corporate environment where you just have to do what this guy tells you. And it's a bit more severe than like Western companies where it's a little bit, at least verbally, on an equal footing. In Korea, it's very hierarchical, even in the words themselves, in the verbal construction. And just that whole vibe, I was like, I don't think I would enjoy this. I knew I wouldn't. And I like to come up with my own ideas and do shit. I like to, in a way, lead and lead my life. Um, so something like that I would have done. And I think I would have worked with other human beings because I like to speak and I like to like coach and help people. I think I was always good at kind of like helping people understand stuff. Um, so maybe coaching was a good fit, but I really don't know. I really don't know. And quitting PhD was difficult because quitting anything is difficult if you're invested in it financially, time wise, socially, your family's expectations. So it is tough. It is tough quitting something like that and making a U turn. But I think in some ways, COVID helped me make the decision. So there were environmental factors. My back pain and quasi depression helped me come to that decision. So sometimes the things that are happening in your life that seem like bad luck and pain and fucking why is this happening to me? These moments, when you look back, like they can sometimes be the triggers for a change that you are grateful for. Nathaniel Patterson, yes, sir. I brought that up because I thought I saw the fashion video thumbnail. Yeah, yeah. Really? Does the fashion video thumbnail have a dress-up shot of a baby? Do you have a fave gym brand that you rock? What type of brand do you gravitate to? Have you heard of A ASRV? No, I have not heard of ASRV. Do I have a favorite gym brand? I guess you are asking about clothes. I do not. I don't wear gym clothes, gym brands. I don't really like that kind of material stuff. So I just wear like t-shirts, tank tops that are kind of just normal cotton. Um, yeah, ASRV. I don't know. Brands. Speaking of brands, brands that I like this brand here. This is a cardigan I got, which is a Japanese brand. I don't know how you pronounce them. It's written like a press, a press. All right, so this cardigan, which I will show you because today was a fashion video. Yes, this kind of cardigan. Obviously, you wouldn't wear this to a gym, but you can wear cardigans. This Japanese brands you'll find make clothes really, really well. I mean, like super high quality, attention to detail. So, if you're somebody that's into clothes, fashion, I would say look into some Japanese brands. Yeah, man, I was here last week just getting up. It's 8 a.m. here in Alberta. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice one, Stevie. Yeah. Maybe by starting the live a little late, guys like in the West Coast, or I don't know where Alberta is, but you guys can join when you wake up. Um, but yeah, let's see. We'll probably wrap it up in like 15 minutes, half an hour. So let's get the final questions in. And yeah, if you could have any anime character's physique, who would it be? Anime character. That's hard. I don't watch that much anime, so it's hard to say. Maybe maybe Go, Dragon Ball. If you could have any, yeah. I watched a lot of videos of getting dressed in a good looking way, but since I'm skinny, other than wearing loose shirt and tees, other clothes doesn't look good on me. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, watch my videos. You'll actually understand a lot about what it takes to dress better. And if you look at all the like models, they're skinny, okay? And they're not just wearing loose shirts and tees. So, as long as you understand certain things about what it means to dress well and you just kind of combine things in a way that works, you can look good. I mean, I'd say being skinny is better than being fat for style. What insight do you have into starting a new path in life? I resonate with your story as I got my degree and I'm trying something completely different. MLG. MLG? Yeah. What are you trying to start? What are you trying to do completely different? Um, Starting a new path in life. I resonate with your story as I got my degree. Yeah. Yeah, I think degrees right now are just becoming less and less important, right? Because information is not the thing that's making you valuable, right? Information is just gotten through AI. And so degree is has more value as a social thing. You spend time discovering yourself, your passions, making social connections, and I think there's a lot that you gain from university in that sense. But in terms of starting a new path in life, I it's a hard question, right? I'm not going to be able to give you like an answer that's very useful necessarily, but what happened with me, right? When I was in the deep shit, okay? I would be sleeping in my little bed in Milan, okay? This is nighttime, 2 a.m. I'm sleeping. And then I would do this. It's pitch black. I'm looking at the ceiling, okay? And maybe there's a mosquito, maybe there isn't. And I'm like going like shaking like this. Like it's not an uncontrollable shake. It's not like a panic attack. I'm just trying to like realize that this just happened. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like this is not what I should be doing. Can you imagine that? You're sleeping and then you go from deep sleep to wide awake and you're freaking out. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? Writing a PhD thesis, or so it's called, about something that like that nobody's gonna read, and I don't even care about that much. And all this I'm doing because I want to kind of just not go to the military. Like, how have I let myself get into this situation? I'm 28, and like all these thoughts are just compounding in my brain. I'm like, fuck, right? And in these moments, there's always like a little flash of insight that comes into your brain. That's like, you should just fucking go to the military. You should quit the PhD. And this thought was always there even before I started it. Okay. And it's important that you can kind of listen to some of these inner voices that you have and not shut it out with your better logic. Okay. With your brain coming in and saying, oh, it would never work. Oh, I invested so much time. Oh, this is what would lead to better opportunities later down the line. There's always a better reason. There's always a good reason to continue whatever you're doing. Do you know what I mean? So everybody talks about like sticking it out, don't be a pussy, don't be a coward, like just actually stick it out. What about the courage it takes to quit something and go against everyone's thing? That it takes courage to do that too. And at a certain point, you got to be able to listen to that inner voice and just see that it's there. Okay. And then at a certain point, you might be able to pull the trigger on it. I know that's a bit of an esoteric answer, but that's kind of how I like to think about it. Usually you'll have like a gut reaction of what you should do. And at the end of it, you might as well do it. Do you know what I mean? Like you might as well just have a go at it. Like this thing about the wine bar. I mean, who knows if I'll end up doing it because of the finances involved and all these things and technicalities and all that. But like I was just thinking about it. I was like, I'm 33. I could be 54 tomorrow. I literally could be because I was 23. Now I'm 33. How many more times am I going to just like go for it and live life and take risks? Your propensity to take risk and do random shit and just go for shit is going to go down. I really think this. Like I'm 33 right now. I still have that thing. It's like I could take a risk here. I could fuck shit up. I could blow everything up and still come back somehow. I don't think I'll have that mentality like 5 years later, even. Say if I have a baby or like if I have a family or I'm 42, like I'm not going to be thinking like that. So at a certain point, I mean, I'm kind of imagining that you're not, I mean, you just got your degree, so you're not that old, right? MLG, MLG. Uh, so just go for something because, again, every failure that you have is going to teach you something big, right? That's what happens in gym. Every injury you have, you're like, shit, I should have done the form right. I should have retracted my shoulder blades, right? Every little mistake in jiu-jitsu, you're like, fuck, I should have let my ego down and let the guy pass my guard. Why was I not tapping? And why was I not? You learn a little something and you come back. And if you focus on, oh, I lost my strength. Oh, I'm back where I started. You're going to lose motivation. But if you realize that you're not the same person that's coming back to it, you've learned something now. Okay. So failure will teach you a lot. And at the end of it, I hope when you're 40, 50, 60, 80, you're going to be like, yo, I made all those mistakes. And then you'll have stories to tell. And to tie this into fashion as well, like you're going to be somebody that has aura. Okay. All these fashion people, fashion videos, they talk about like source and aura and like, somebody just looks cool and like, what's the difference? What the difference is not the clothes. It's the shit you live through in your life. Okay, so the failures you went through, the emotional turbulence, the successes, the failures, like all that shit, and also failures in clothing, to be honest, like wearing clothes like this, like, guys, I got this cardigan looking like a tool, like failing, cringing, just endless failure upon failure. And then eventually you get to a point where you're like, shit, okay, something's coming out of you, out of all of that failure. There's a thicker skin. There's a less care about the perceptions of other people and the judgments of other people. You know what you stand for because you've been through a lot. And then you wear the clothes and you move in a way, you speak in a way, it comes out in that way. That's source. Okay, I don't know how I got into all this, MLG, but yeah, start that new path. If you do, let me know. Yeah. Damn, I resonate a lot with the work tunnel vision and found myself with way too many transactional work relationships. What's the best thing you got from your military service? Yeah. What's the best thing I got from my military service? Was the break. Was a break. Okay. When I was living life in academia, I remember I met a friend in the UK and he was like, "Man, you're always studying," you know, and I was like, "That's kind of true." Like every stage of life, you meet your friends, right? You meet your friends, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, so what are you doing?" So, "Oh, I got this job. Oh, I'm getting married. Or I'm doing this internship." Blah blah blah. I was always like, "Yeah, I'm doing this thing." Like, and I was studying. I was in uni. I was in masters. I was in a gap year. I was in a PhD, and I was like 26, 27, getting into 28. So you're in these chains of life. You're like steeped into these chains. When you're in academia, everything makes sense in that world. The way you speak, the assignments, the professors, the structure, the social group, how you go drink with the friends afterwards. Like you're in these loops, right? And it's hard to actually leave a loop because every action has its momentum. Every action has its own momentum it wants to carry forward. So you're in this academic freaking way of being, right? And it's hard to get out. And the military, because in Korea it's compulsory, it gives you a forced break. You're literally taken away from all of that. They shave your head. I had a fat beard and long hair, shaved all of that. Okay. And I was chucked into like boot camp with 20-year-olds. I was like 28, with 18-year-olds, 10 years younger than me, and just running, running, freaking screaming and singing military songs and just realizing like a year and a half, I'm going to be stuck here. What do I do? And I was doing these like CCTV duties like overnight 12 to 6, just sat there and I'll be like writing YouTube titles. I didn't even have a channel back then. I was like writing like, oh, maybe I could make this video. Maybe I could make this video, you know? And like the guys would be like, oh, what are you doing? Like, what are you writing? I'd be like, I'm making like these YouTube freaking videos. Do you have a channel? I don't have a channel. Right? So, military service, the best thing I got was that it gave me the break in my life to make that pivot that MLG was talking about to start a new path. Sometimes you need that break, and it doesn't have to be a forced military service, guys. Okay, it could be a breakup, it could be a trip to Portugal. All right, I watched a lot of your videos. Just curious on what made you embrace the concept of minimalism. That's a very good question. I don't actually know. I think I've always, you know what, minimalism came into my life in different ways, right? So I'll tell you another story. I was in Vienna because I was doing this master's program that moved around a lot of different cities in Europe. So I was in Vienna, and I had an Italian girlfriend at the time, and her friend came to visit, and we were by the river, like chilling, having a good time, and then we're going back. And this friend, he's an Italian guy called Dodi, right? And Dodi's like, we're gonna make pasta, and he's got this one packet of cherry tomatoes and one packet of Rumo, like which is this Italian pasta brand. And he's like, I was like, all right, let's go shopping. Let's buy these mushrooms. Let's buy these freaking bell peppers. Let's buy these courgette. Smack it all in, make it a ratatouille pasta. Okay. And he was like, typical Italian, like, no, 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 no. Just whoa, 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 chill out. Just you eat this that I make. And if you don't like it, we can do the courgette stuff later. And he made this pasta with just tomato, olive oil, basil, and ruma. I tasted it and it was like the best pasta I ever had. Right. So it was a bit of a shock there. I was like, oh, cool. And then when I was studying urban studies, a lot of that stuff kind of went towards not necessarily minimalism, but like functionalism. So you study about Scandinavian architecture, and it's a lot about taking out all the bullshit. I don't want to call it bullshit because I really like classical architecture and all the, like when you go to like fancy places and you see these churches and it's all very pretty and curly with these statues and it's very ornament and very gold and pretty. And then like the Scandinavian design is very functional, clean. Like a chair is supposed to be sat on, and don't fuck about with the chair too much. Like if they can sit on it, it's all good. Like that kind of energy, right? Yeah. And maybe I'm trying to find roots where there are none, right? Because it's not like I'm some kind of great artist that finds these inspirations. I'm just kind of seeing where these uh, themes were. But minimalism, as you probably know yourself, has been a big trend almost since what, the 20, or I don't know, 2010s. So, you think you're out of the trend, but you're in it, you know. I'm just a follower of trends as much as everyone else, it seems. Alberta is in Canada. That's good to know. My PhD supervisor was called Alberta. Jesus. May the best things be with her as well. Just want to say I appreciate the systems you create. They're helpful and a great backbone when life throws things at you. Thank you for all you do, brother. Thank you, Comics Undone. Thank you for the kind words. Is India safe? Hello, bro. You're in the wrong chat. Okay? Leave right now. Leave right now. What brand is that white tee you're wearing? Thunder Drake, I will tell you that this white tee is from no brand, man. I bought this in a like a second hand shop. There's a guy in Korea who lived in France, so he plays all this French radio in his shop, and this guy sells like random clothes that are second hand vintage. And I went in there, saw this shirt with nothing on it, so I got it. It's probably my favorite white shirt, white t-shirt. Where are you from? Okay, you can leave now, Hurikesh. Okay, I'm gonna kick you if you ask a dumb question. How can I mention you? A bit late to the party, Spiral Dogs. Yeah, welcome, man. I'm gonna wrap up soon. What is indecision? Might have to kick this idiot. Do I kick or do I? I can remove your message, or I can actually remove you from the. Put user in timeout. Let's try that. Yeah, let me give you a timeout. You dumbass questions. Thank you. I've already started a while, but wanted to hear what you had to say. Oh, so you started. Good stuff. Mr. Darth Samurai. Dude, you're back. You were here last week. Mr. Darth. Bro is a vibe. You resonated. Love you, brother. Thanks, bro. Do you own any watches? If so, what do you wear? I do wear watches. What do I wear? I wear this vintage Swanson, which is a Japanese brand. It's not a fancy watch. It's actually the watch that happens to be in the movie with Ripley, talented Mr. Ripley. So I found a watch that uh, belonged to a Polish grandmother, and I had to contact my Polish friend to get it from a Polish grandmother in a Polish secondhand website and ship it to me in Korea years ago. Years ago. So I really love that watch. It's like, yeah, I feel like I'm the only one that has it. Looks damn good, and I get a lot of questions about it actually. But it's not a fancy watch. It's not a, you know, Rolex, Patek, all that fancy stuff. Bro, should GLC? What are you talking about? GLC reversal. What the Hello from Canada. Thanks for the insights. Not a whole lot of video ideas on my end, but when you launch new vids, tell them about these weekly live sesh. I feel viewers would love to experience the Wanhee community. Yeah, man. Maybe in the videos, I'll shout out this live. Um, yeah. If you guys are liking this format, like I say, I kind of enjoy this because fitness has always been like a big part of my life, but it's not the only part of my life. It's one side of my passion, and it runs the business. So, obviously, fitness is always a big part of it. But this kind of live gives us a chance to not just like talk with you, but also explore other areas, whether that's philosophy, life, fashion, creating, business, relationships, health, travel. So jiu-jitsu. So I like this, and I like the casual vibe where, you know, I think I need more silences in the lives. Some of the lives I watch, there's a lot more silences, a lot more just letting it be. I might just let it be a bit. Maybe I'll make a section where I show you some stuff that I bought. So here's another one. This is like a French. Is this French? I don't know the name of this. It's like a black. I think it's like a jacket, moleskin jacket. This one I got yesterday. Okay. Nice little. Yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll make a section where it's like purchases I made will be a good way to doubly use what I bought. Once to entertain myself and once to show off and feel good about myself. Nah, but I think yeah, we could add like that section, things I bought to the lives. Maybe just share kind of my spending, where my mind is at. Maybe share some food I'm eating. Like today, I don't know. Like I guess I had dinner before, so I wasn't too hungry. But yeah, maybe I'll do. What do you want to see on the lives? Okay, the guys that are being here. What do you actually want to see on the lives? Do you want to see food? Do you want to just keep it like this, casual chat? Maybe some style stuff, fashion stuff. Eating pizza right now, is that optimal? Yeah, it's optimal. Yeah, I think two pizzas is optimal. Hey, brother Wanhee, what do you think of two-set workouts pushing to failure instead of three? Great idea. Great idea. Yeah, two sets is great if you do it with the right intensity. But you can also use that as an excuse to do less, right? So you gotta know when you're bullshitting yourself. No need for JLC reversal. Guys, what is going on? What are you talking about? JL. I'm currently doing your functional body blueprint. Good man, Spiral Dogs, you know what's up. After I go through it, how would you continue to incorporate it and the aesthetic blueprint and in any other going for? After you go through it, would you continue to incorporate it and the aesthetic body blueprint? Yeah, I would alternate the functional body blueprint and the aesthetic body blueprint. That's what you're supposed to do. Normally, I say start with the aesthetic routine and then go to the functional routine. But if you're already on the functional routine, do like 4 months on it, just 4 to 5 months, get really strong on it. Then when you plateau, go to the aesthetic routine, do 4 to 5 months on it. When you plateau it, go back to the functional routine and just rotate the two of them. There's also the athletic routine, but you can just alternate the two of them. For those guys that are wondering what he's talking about, these are my training programs. You can get them in the free community link, which should be under this video and all the other videos. Have you tried walking with a heavy backpack? Shit. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap this up at 12, which will be midnight, which is in 25 minutes. Have you tried walking with a heavy backpack? It's how I maintain 10% body fat with little to no effort. My body is just used to it at this point. I'm a digital nomad and I walk everywhere with 20 pounds. Yeah. Have I tried walking with a heavy backpack? Yeah, as part of my military training. It's good that that's how you maintain 10% body fat with no effort. That's really good, man. Rucking is a big thing. I never really tried it as a fat loss thing, like incline walking. A lot of people talking about. I never tried it myself. I like to keep my walks very chill. Once you make it rucking, once you make it incline, you start to make it into a kind of a high effort activity. I like my walks to feel like they're part of life and not at all really necessary effort. So I'll be walking. So the walk that I do every day is flat. It's by the riverside. It's flat. I'm listening to music sometimes. I'm listening to audiobooks a lot of the time. I'm just breathing and looking at people a lot of the time. So the cherry blossoms, ton of people on the street. I'm just staring at people, not in a weird way, right? Just chilling. That's how I like to walk because I do that whole mental exertion in the gym in jiu-jitsu. I don't want my walk to be like freaking I got a charge on with my rucksack. So, but if it's effective for you, James, which it clearly is, 10% body fat, continue. By the way, your voice is so pleasant to listen to. Lol, I listen to all your videos when walking my 10K steps. Very therapeutic. Haha, I'm not gay, by the way. Thank you, man. Thank you. Okay. That's not gay at all. Uh, I actually get that comment a lot, which I appreciate. I didn't know that. I'm not even using a microphone. Maybe I should do a better microphone to. But yeah, I guess it's better to have a voice that's pleasant to listen to than not, especially if you're a creator, right? Thoughts on steam rooms and cold showers? I don't have enough experience with either to give you any good answer to that, Tyler. I will say cold showers, the time that I tried it, the time that I tried cold showers consistently was when COVID first blew up in Europe. It was in northern Italy. It was in Milan. It was in Lombardia. And the Korean government sent plane basically to gather Korean citizens from Italy back to Korea. I was on that bloody plane. And when they brought us back to Korea, they put us in a quarantine facility because it was high COVID, like first time the world is knowing about it. They put us in this like hotel in the middle of nowhere. And it was like they would leave like doggy bag kind of food morning and night. Like an old boy where they leave like a little baggie and they go and you're stuck in this room. You have to live in this room. That's what I did for 3 weeks. And they would play like meditation sounds. Like now you gotta sit and relax. And it's all to help us chill out and not freak out. Right. So they play meditation sounds. That's when I did cold showers. I would do like workouts, home workouts, push-ups, all kinds of Bulgarian split squats, ATG split squats, Cossack squats, all that stuff. And then I would do cold showers every single morning. And I would feel so good. I would feel so good afterwards because you get a huge dopamine rise from the cold shower and then the dopamine stays high. So yeah, the cold shower is really effective in that sense. But obviously the issue with that is the consistency, right? Yeah. Steam room saunas, I wish that was just readily available. I would do it a lot, but yeah, just do it and see. Keep up the great content, brother Wanhee. Thank you, brother. Assez Guzman T. Jonathan T. Bunyan. JT again. What's up, JT? JT is part of my coaching program. Get to see he's getting absolutely in top shape. Keep saying it, JT. You got to figure out the getting lean part, and you're gonna look sick, absolutely sick. I think you have a genetic disposition for good forearms too. So you're in a really good spot. But you really got to nail in these next 3 months and just get shredded. Um, Thank you for the feedback. Question: would you do another martial arts besides jiu-jitsu? Yeah, the next thing I'll do is boxing, um, or wrestling. Yeah. So I don't think I would enjoy boxing as much because I don't like getting hit in the face. Jiu-jitsu, for the guys that do it will know, is a very, very technical sport. It's like chess. You can see how you're mentally beating the opponent, which of course you can say for every other sport, but like jiu-jitsu just has that extra layer where it's so technical and your better technique can make you beat people that are much bigger and stronger than you. That's what I love about jiu-jitsu. The other reason I started jiu-jitsu is because it's practical for self-defense and that you can actually like defend yourself and uh, presumably it's the most effective for that. So By that reasoning, I think I would do boxing next so that I have some stand up, so I become a more complete fighter, right? I don't want to necessarily go to all these competitions, become a huge jiu-jitsu player or boxer. Like, I don't have that kind of talent, but I want to be feeling confident in my ability to defend myself and the people around me, right? Or at least have the wisdom to diffuse situations and not get into fights. And I think jiu-jitsu and boxing are the two best things to do. So even though I wouldn't necessarily enjoy boxing as much, that would be the next one. Right? It's not just about enjoyment for me. Yo, that French jacket. I'll rock those too. Yeah, yeah. Is this a French jacket? French work jacket? It's a moleskin jacket or something? I got this and it's yeah, I always say like I used to think when I was shopping like for clothes, you're like, oh, I want that crazy fluorescent yellow tee with the rainbow stripes. Right? Like there was actually genuinely a fluorescent yellow tee with rainbow stripes in a Korean brand called Polham. I remember this was like 2006 or something. It was on a mannequin and I wanted it and I got it. I wish I still had it. That's how a lot of people shop, like metaphorically. You see cool shit and you're like, I want that thing. Like that's cool. Like that just shows that I'm out here wearing this thing, you know? And so you get like massive like rings and caps and shoes and Jordans and all this kind of stuff. And I think as you get, I mean, if you're into that kind of street style and like punk style, like that's all good. I think you can be really cool with that side as well. But just me with my, like what I'm into, I just realized I was like, that's not how you actually do it. Like in terms of upgrading your style, you got to stick to the basic colors in a way, get that right, and then add other stuff. And I'd always find like when you go shopping with like when you're younger, you go shopping with your like parents, maybe your mother, and then maybe you go shopping with your girlfriends or your female friends or your guy friend, and like the people that would actually know some things about fashion, they would always be picking stuff that's different to what I pick. You know, I pick some weird ass colorful shit, and they'd be like, "What about this one?" And it would be like so normal. I'd be like, "Who wants that?" Like that's the most normal thing. And now I get it. It's like the normal things work with everything, and the normal colors work with everything. And once you have that base, you can add the cool stuff, and it will land better. It will be more coherent. You know. Yeah. I'm actually making a whole like the aesthetic body blueprint, but for style. I think there's a way that like I want to kind of make a system where somebody who doesn't really get how to dress well can get it and become better. All right. You're not going to become like a trendsetter. You're not going to become like super fashionable or anything, but you're just going to understand why certain things look good, why certain things don't, and how you can look better. Yeah. No way. That's a cool watch story. I'm half Polish. What's the oldest piece of clothes that you own? I've got stuff I bought from 20 years ago. Quality over quantity. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, that watch, man. That watch. You know, Paula was my roommate in Spain and she was Polish. So I was like texting her. I was like, Paula, there's this there's this person in the Polish secondhand market that's selling this exact watch that I want. Can you tell me if this site is legit? And she's like, yeah, it looks right and I can get it for you. And she got it. And it was a grandmother whose husband used to be a watch collector. Like, and he had all these watches from the US, and so she had it and she's like selling his watches. Maybe he's fuming that he lost this one, but it's the watch that Jude Law's wearing in Talented Mr. Ripley. Yeah, love the chore jacket. It has notch lapels, makes it dressy. Where did you get it again? I got it in another kind of select shop. We have a lot of these like select shop secondhand shops. I got this yesterday. um, yeah, Is it called a chore jacket? I don't even know what it's called. But yeah, just the standard black, you know. It'd be a good way to make double use of my clothing instead when I buy it to show you guys on the live. Um, yeah, yeah, I got it in a secondhand place. Yeah, Darth Samurai. Yeah, just listening to bro is relaxing. Oh, thanks, man. Okay, no homo right here, or homo. You know, I don't give a fuck. I want to see a Korean food tier list. Korean food tier list. That's a great one. Korean food tier list. I need a little more info on that. What kind of tier list? Korean food tier list for a like a random tourist who's coming for the first time in Korea, for a guy from the UK that's never had any spice before, for a guy coming from Senegal that loves spicy food, like there's a different list. Korean food, I'll tell you this thing. I'll tell you this much. Korean food is a lot about the way you eat. Okay? The reason I think Korean food started getting attention fairly recently, as opposed to like Italian food, Japanese food, all these food, is like there's a specific ritual of how to eat Korean food. When you eat Korean food, for instance, we will do this thing where we will have like rice, a main dish, and a bunch of side dishes like tapas and pancha, and we'll eat the thing and add kimchi. We will add a little something. We will season the food sometimes as we eat in the mouth. So if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know how to get the kimchi in the mouth or combine the kimchi with the pork and a little bit of samjang and do it in such a way where it just tastes right, you're going to be having 40% of Korean food. You're going to be having the pork on its own, like, oh, I guess the pork's all right, but it's kind of unseasoned. Oh, let me have the kimchi. Oh, wait, that's like really strong and spicy. I don't like the kimchi. Let me have the samjang. Oh, wow, that's strong. Like you're gonna eat it like that. Okay. So it's important that you eat Korean food the right way. And the same thing is with ramen. Like there's this Korean ramen called Shin ramen, like the Shin cup, right? And in high school, I was in boarding school in the UK, so you're not allowed to have like food outside of the school except on the weekends. So like on the weekends, or like when you're in sixth form, you can get whatever food, right? So you get like I get my Shin ramen, and after a while, the guys are like, "Yo, what's that? Like, I want to have some of that too." So I'm sharing the Shin ramen. Some of you guys will know this, like Korean hot pot Shin ramen. I'm losing my voice, and I'd be having her. This is how Koreans have hot ramen. Imagine this is hot ramen, like boiling hot ramen. This is how we have it. Kimchi. And the reason you do this action, which is considered bad table manners in Europe, okay, from a Eurocentric point of view, the reason you do that is because A, you want to cool the ramen that is ultra hot, literally in boiling soup. B, you want to collect some of the soup water with the ramen to season it, and because it's part of the taste. And C, it's for the vibes, okay? So all of you guys that are like, why are you slurping your noodles? You're supposed to slurp the fucking noodles. When you have pasta, you do this because that's what you're supposed to do. When you're in Japan or Korea, you better be slurping your noodles and making that fucking sound, okay? You heard it here first. Anyways, my friends would be having like one noodle strand because it's too hot for them. They'd be like, and then have one noodle strand. And they'd be like, that's too hot, that's too spicy. And they'll leave the soup for 20 minutes until it's cool enough to eat. But of course, if you leave noodle too long, it gets overcooked, it becomes mush. And you again taste 10% of the food, right? So it's a long way to say Korean food, there's a way to eat. I'm sure every food has this. Every food has this. But Korean food especially. Jesus, I might be losing my voice right now. Is that actually happening? Maybe I need to drink more water. Could you make a video on building a wardrobe? What do you mean, like woodwork? Oh shit, that was bad. Yeah, I am gonna make a video on how to build a minimalist wardrobe. Um, Actually, I'm not sure if I'll make a video on that, but yeah, I think that's something that basically I'm just gonna give it to you right here. Building a wardrobe is about gathering items that will just go with each other as a base. This is level one. Okay. Level one, build a wardrobe where you can pick random shit and it will kind of go with each other. Most people don't have this. This is level one. Level two, you can get kind of fancy, add new colors, you can get creative. Level three, you do your fashion stuff, you're cooler, better than everyone. You do your thing. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But level one and two, you got to get basics that fit with each other and with the right fits, with the right quality if you can. Okay. Usually, when clothes look like really good, they're good quality. They're more expensive, usually, unfortunately. Jesus. Take a little breather. Jesus Christ. I started the live very, very like nervous in a way, like my second live. I'm not really like into it, and now I just went on some rant. A cooking live stream would be cool, Jonathan. Yeah, I thought about that, like an actual like cook up. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know what? It could happen. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's in the works. I started the aesthetic body blueprint this time last year, 1 year anniversary. Awesome thing, Spiral Dogs. Spiral Dogs, man. You own it for a whole year. What are you incline benching? How many chin ups can you do? That's gonna tell me everything. You don't want to show me nothing. You're telling me everything. Where's that from, guys? Which movie is that from? If you know it, you're a G. You don't want to show me nothing. You're telling me everything. Yes, cooking would be awesome. Darth Samurai, man. What the hell is up with your nickname? Okay, you explain your nickname before you talk about cooking. Chicken Garage. Loving the lives. I would love it if you had a segment where you give life advice based on people's problems. You're really good at giving people shit in a funny way. Thanks, man. Chicken Garage. Yeah, we could have a section like advice based on people's problems. Drop your problems below, and I'll try my best to help you. Okay, life advice. Yeah, like an Asian uncle. Yeah, that's kind of my vibe. I realized I became unk. I became like unk status. Uh, because when I was in my late 20s, I always used to think I was one of the young ones. Like you'd see people out in the clubs or like out in bars drinking and Friday night. Even if I was going home, I'd be like, oh, like my friends are just chilling. Like that looks fun. Like I might as well be doing that on a weekend. And then at a certain point, I realized I'm fucking old. Like I'm an unk right now. The young guys, they're young, you know. Young people are young as fuck. Like born in 2006. Jesus Christ. Mbappe is 27. Okay. Mbappe is 27. God damn. I'm as old as Neymar. Happy Easter, everyone. Thanks for the live. See you later. Gotta go. All right, Schuster. Bernard Schuster. A day in the life is always interesting. Bring on a friend. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd bring on a friend if I had some. Got no friends, bro. All alone here. You want to come be my friend, Stevie? No, just kidding. I think it'd be cool to have my brother on. I have a good thing going on with my brother. My friends. The thing with my friends is they're all over the world, and then like I guess the kind of Korean friends I have, they don't really speak English, so I guess that could be quite fun as well. For sure, I walked around in a city. It's not intense really, but I need to keep my computer with me at all times. I highly recommend. Yeah, yeah. Does the minimalist training light contain diets? Do you cover vegan diets? Go have a look, man. I don't think you have diet stuff there, but you may have like free masterclasses on diet stuff. So I think you might. Go have a look. Should I hop on test, Sean? Deshaun, do whatever the fuck you want, Sean. Vegarth Printers. Hey Wanhee, your videos are helping me out a lot. Thanks. Thanks, man. Hey Wanhee, yeah. Do you have a cookbook? I may make a cookbook. Lazy protein meals. Do you want that, Jira? I have a video. Yeah. Because I feel like what's actually missing is a cookbook for people that care about protein and like calories, but also mad taste. Is there such a cookbook? Because all these gym bros be freaking grinding up chicken breast. Okay, that's all they're grinding up chicken breast, drinking egg whites out of fucking paper cartons. They're doing all that shit, and there's no cookbook. Well, there's no cookbook where it's like super tasty, but it also has high protein and relatively reasonable calories. Would you set up a good schedule for older 60 plus training, 60 plus year olds training 2 times a week? Um, yeah, yeah, JSCH74. If you want that, you can go into the free community and then try to DM me or make a post about it. Um, yeah, my parents are above 60, and I train them as well as some other guys, clients who are 60 plus. Okay. 2 times a week is good. Even once a week is good to start. And yeah, you don't want to be doing obviously as much as intensely. You want to really, really focus on consistency. So if you want to kind of like work that out with me, you can text me in the free community link below. Hi, bro. Love from Bangladesh, I guess. Bangladesh. Yeah. Cool, man. Ashfaq. Yeah. BBB actually slurping means complimentary to the chef, lets them know it's tasty. Yeah, you know it, man. You know it. It keeps the person from overeating, eating like that. Jesus, now we're talking about ramen. Am I behind here? Yeah, yeah. Love your videos. Watching from the Philippines. Eduardo. Thanks, bro. Killing it, bruv. Thank you, Dang. Danger down. Bro, we love your stream. You don't need to be nervous. And we love your rants. They're all meaningful and connected. Thanks, Darth. I'm going to call you Darth from now. Danger Dan. Top recommended stores to shop at for building that level 1 to 2 wardrobe. Yeah. Guys, I'm the level 1 to 2 fashion uh, helper here. Okay. Don't try to get to level 3 with me. I can take you to level 2, but in order to really become stylish and fashionable, you're going to have to do some real work on your own end and find some better teachers because I can take you to level 1 and 2. I can do that probably better than most freaking idiots, okay, on Instagram. Like, ooh, look at my freaking jean shorts. They don't know how to teach conceptually. They don't know how to break down why outfits look good and the psychology behind it. Okay? Okay, that's just my opinion. So I can take you to level 1 and 2, but if you want to be really like actually like like you actually dress well, first you're gonna have to live life, get your heart broken at least 5 times, be more than 30 years old, and have a passion outside of fashion. So those are prerequisites. And then you're gonna have to find some people that are way, way better than me and learn from them. But top recommended stores to shop at for building that level 1, 2 wardrobe, there's no recommended shops. Depends on your budget. Okay. If you're in that student time where your budget is just shit, like low budget, you got to get the cheapest stuff. Then I would save up and try to buy the best stuff that you can. But if you're trying to build out that base ass wardrobe, then of course, like the standard shops, Uniqlo, Zara. I think Uniqlo and Zara are like worldwide, right? I have a lot of Uniqlo stuff. The fashion videos I make, a lot of time I'm just wearing Uniqlo. That shirt in this fashion video I made, I'm just wearing a Uniqlo shirt. Okay, so there. But you will realize, and I had to realize this, and I didn't like realizing this, that expensive clothes from high quality brands are usually better. They are usually better. Okay, not always. There's some shit ones, but they're usually better in terms of how they age, um, how they look, the silhouette, and all that stuff. So yeah, is walking a big jump starter on losing fat? Love from Philippines. Respect the grind. Yeah, respect that grind. Yeah, man, I'm grinding out here. I'm actually enjoying myself. Shit, it's 12. I need to wrap this up, but yeah, I'll wrap it up. I need to wrap it up, but thank you. Walking is the hack for losing fat. 100%. Just walk 10K steps, track your weight, track your protein, track your steps. Watch my videos on how to lose fat. Stop saying I'm repeating myself, because I am repeating myself. But at the same time, that's what you got to do to lose fat. Do you understand this? I could come up with a million different tricks on how to lose fat, but it's going to come down to the same base five things. You got to measure your weight every day. You got to be in a calorie deficit. You got to walk 10K steps. You got to train with weights, and you got to chill the fuck out when your weight spikes back up, because it will. Like, how many how many times can you spin this? Like, you could say a million different tricks, but that's what it comes down to. That's why I repeat it. And look at what you're good at. Okay? All of you, JL Mats, Doth, Chicken Garage, Ase Cosmenti. What are you guys good at? Daniel, Nomad, Carmelo. Tell me what you guys are good at. Like, genuinely, this is a live. Nobody's gonna verify if you're actually good or not. Like, what are you guys good at? Put in the chat. What are you actually like better than the average person at? Okay? What are you better than somebody at? And once you put it, we're gonna see if you have a million different tricks, or if you just stuck to the basics and kept repeating them. Okay, that's how you get good at anything. Same with fat loss. All right, guys, we're gonna. It's really time to wrap up. This is kind of fun. Am I? Is it because I'm tipsy, or is? I think this is fun. Yeah, it's walking a bit. Exactly. Asian uncle. Yeah, we are all lunks. 90s kid. Yeah, Darth, you 90s as well. Yeah, I feel like 90s and 2000s were the time. Like, that was a good time. You had to actually like go to your friend's house to have fun, and have your friends over to have fun. You'd play in the streets. Like, freaking, we had Windows 98 and Windows 2000, Windows XP, 2D games, flip phones, Blackberries. Like, we lived through Britney Spears, all that fucking. And now it's just, yeah, I feel like it's. But then every generation would say that, I guess. Bro, we need a cookbook. Also vegan, please. Yeah, I'm not gonna make a vegan cookbook, Doth. Okay. You're gonna have to look at my cookbook. Vegan cookbook. You helped me so much, G. Thanks, man. Nice to see you chat again. Thanks, Daniel. Nomad Tribe. Have you done Korean military service ever? Yeah, I did it. Where were you in the chat? I did a whole chat about the military. I was in the Korean military about 5 years ago. Bro, almost everybody starting at fashion is level -1. Yeah, I agree. I started at like level -10. But I got to level, I would say I'm level 2 now. Level 2, like blue belt. Like, I kind of know what's happening, but I'm not actually, to be honest, that good. That's my honest opinion about myself. At style and fashion, I just know what's going on. That's where I'm at. It's like blue belt. It's literally like blue belt. When you do jujitsu, white belt is just all, you just don't know how to move. Okay, and then you start learning blue belt. You start to understand what's going on, like when you're in a bad situation, when you're in a good situation, why you're in a bad situation, why you're in a good situation, and you start to try a bunch of different styles of jiu-jitsu to kind of find what lands for you. That's where I'm at. That's blue belt. And purple belt is when you have your move, like you have a little bit of a system and your own personal thing. That's the personal style. And that really kind of, that's, I believe, level three. Okay. In jiu-jitsu, in fashion, in content, in business, in everything. Okay. You go from complete newbie just absorbing info to kind of knowing what's going on, trying everything, and then you land on a little something that is your system. From UK Unk. All right, more Unks. We've got the Unk energy right here. Unk lives. Who's an Unk here? Guys, if you're born in the 90s before 99, you're an Unk. Who's an Unk right here? Says Cosmenti, I can tell you're not an Unk, man. Guys, this guy is legit. You won't burn out with the workout. Instead, you would want to do more and stay consistent, which is the main key to your goal. Yeah, I say Cosmenti, you said some good shit right there, but you're not an Unk. Are you? London, to be exact. Yeah, you're from London, eh, Daniel? Good man. Uniqlo is good for the basics. Cool story, bro. Jiu-Jitsu question. I'm doing BJJ on my third year and I'm still feeling very new to the game. Do you have structure as to how to make your body memorize new technique? Yeah. There's a thing called like body knowledge in philosophy. Okay. I'm going to get really nerdy on you. There's one of my favorite philosophers is Maurice Merleau-Ponty, and he talks about the body as being the agent of knowledge. Like you think you know shit in your head, right? But there's a billion things your body knows before your mind. This is what he said. Like right now, you're probably sitting, standing, walking, listening to this live, right? You're listening to me speak. And as you do that, your body is doing countless little things that you're not even consciously aware of. It may be adjusting, it may be balancing, it may be grabbing, it may be just things that you don't even put into words. Your body is just doing so that you're sitting on the chair upright, not tilting this way suddenly, not tilting this way suddenly. How many of those things does your body do in each moment when you walk down the stairs? 100, 1,000, it could be a million, right? So that's the area of pre-knowledge. So in philosophy, like Heidegger, Merleau-Ponty, all of these guys say you're always just living life. Your body is like enmeshed in life. Like you're doing shit. You're just all you're being. Something goes wrong. Like, oh, you stub your toe. Oh, this freaking water that I'm using is like not functioning the way I expect. Then you got to use your brain. So your brain is second. Your body is first. So in jiu-jitsu, it's the same thing. You kind of learn stuff with your brain, but in order you want to get to a stage where you're not using your brain, you're using your body knowledge. Okay. So of course this is both at the same time. You're gonna have to like think a lot. Like, fuck, what did I do there? I should have put my knee there. Oh, it's the inside position. Side control escape. I should have got this here and then gone for the underhook. He got the underhook. You're thinking all, but if you're doing third year jiu-jitsu, like which is the same, I'm in my third year, like you're gonna feel like the more you think in a role, the shit you do shit, right? You're thinking too much, you do bad. So you got to learn as much and then think less when you're rolling and leave it up to your body wisdom, your body knowledge. Yeah. That's the nerdiest answer I gave. Expect more. Amani Hutchinson. Hey, Amani. How you doing? Good stuff. Good to see you. Or it's Sunghee. Might be my bro. Chicken Garage. Chicken Garage, man. What kind of nickname is that? Cooking. What do you mean cooking? Fucking Chicken Garage. Chicken Garage, man. Better say something nice or we're going to have to kick you as well. No, just kidding. Abusing my going on a power trip right now. Research, PhD in engineering. What are you talking about, Darth? I say Cosmenti. I'm in the PH2. Thing is, beef is rare and expensive, been eating lean pork because it's cheaper. Chicken gets boring. Tough life without beef when cutting. Yeah, tough life. I guess you're in the Philippines. Beef is rare and expensive. Try minced beef. Minced beef is usually cheaper, right? Lean pork is, yeah, it is cheaper, but it doesn't taste as good. Chicken gets boring, but maybe if you marinate it with the right sauce, it can be good. Some Japanese, Korean ways to marinate stuff like soy sauce, ginger, gochujang, and kimchi type stuff. Like you can do pretty well with that. Carmelo Basco, I'm good at socializing, talking, and fitness, but I need more coordination and connection with my body. I'm good at socializing, talking, and fitness, but I need more coordination and connection with my body. Cool story, bro. Thanks, Wanhee. All right, guys, we're actually going to wrap it up now. Okay. Computer programming. Oh, you're talking about what you're good at. Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're good at those things: computer programming, socializing, fitness. Yeah. How did you get good? Was it a billion new tricks, or was it just doing the basics over and over again, repetitively, in a boring way, over and over again? Okay. That's what got you good. Bordeaux is the trick. Support from the UK. Yeah, go UK crowd. Neil, what's up, man? Neil's on a flight right now from US to the UK, but you got Wi-Fi on the plane. That's pretty cool. Good stuff, Neil. 11 a.m. in NYC. Oh, you're in NYC. Maybe you didn't get on the flight. So, Wanhee, are you a minimalist in general or just for fitness? I am a minimalist uh, in fitness and aspiring minimalist in general. It's a weird one because what does it mean to be a minimalist, right? Everybody has their own definition. I think there's power in minimalism, but it's really about what scale, right? So, somebody might say, "Oh, you bought this watch or this car." Doesn't mean you're minimalist. Or you have three paintings in your house. It's not a minimal. Like each person has their own definition, but I think the spirit of minimalism is really about like you focus in on a goal, try to make it sustainable, and by cutting out the excess, you actually get maximum. That's the principle of minimalism. It's not just doing less for the sake of doing less. It's doing less because you feel that that's going to maximize another variable. Why would you be minimalist unless it was maximize something else like happiness? Or I always give the example of a minimalist architect or a minimalist artist that designs a room or a painting in a certain minimalist way. Why are they doing that? Because they want to call themselves minimalist, or because they think that space will have maximum peace, or that painting will have maximum impact. So I don't know. I guess with these labels, it's like I use minimalist training because it kind of expresses the core idea quite well. But it's a label, I guess it's an attitude towards life that you can kind of just use it how you want. Don't be confined. Like, I think one of the mistakes people make is they have this term like, oh, are you a minimalist? It's like, I'm a minimalist. So because I'm a minimalist, I shouldn't do this. Don't do that. Don't let the term that other people have like charged up with their own worldviews impact how you live. Use that term and be like, I'm a minimalist trainer because I do this in a minimalist way, and that's what's minimalist about it. And then I do another thing in a minimalist way. If you don't think it's minimalist in that way, fine. Call it gyminalist. I don't care. Like, it's just a different thing. Does that make sense? Did that make no sense? Guys, officially wrapping up in 15 months now. 15 in 15 minutes. Actually wrapping up in 15 minutes because we've been going on for 2 hours and 14 minutes. That's fucking crazy, man. I've been chatting for 2 hours, 14 minutes. And it's actually quite fun. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Jesus. Hi, Wanhee. I think you're one of the real content creators, not some fluffed up, but rather pragmatic stuff. Any tips for university students, especially regarding diet? Thank you, Visual V. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Any tips for university students regarding diet? Um, yeah, you gotta be, I guess you're trying to build a good body, right? So when it comes to university, what I used to do is I would get a bunch of frozen chicken. I would make use of a lot of minced beef uh, because students don't have a lot of money. So I would use a lot of sardines, a lot of tinned tuna. I will get that chicken and bacon, chicken and bacon sandwich from Tesco. Chickens, I can't remember. Get those freaking meal deals. So protein shakes, tin sardines, tunas, that kind of stuff. Okay, frozen chicken, and just like making some simple staple meals that you turn to every day. Okay, and living with other dudes that care about muscle will help you. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, university. If you're in your 20s, you can drink till 4 a.m. Still get ripped if you train right. Is that right? I might be right. 1 a.m. in NYC, 11 a.m. in NYC, 11 a.m. Yeah, Neil. Yeah, it's it's midnight. It's just past midnight now. Um, but I'm actually having fun here, so I haven't I haven't turned this off. With regards to internalizing BJJ techniques at the Gracie Academy, we had a section called reflex development, which is basically situational drilling of techniques starting in slow motion. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Reflex, learned body movements. But this, you don't even need to conceptualize this because I feel like as you just do more and more jujitsu, that's just what happens anyway. Like, I don't think you need to train that body knowledge. It's not like something you think about and you're like, I'm going to ingrain these movements into my body. Like, it just happens because you train. It's just a natural result of consistent training, right? I think in terms of conceptual learning, it's important for you to like learn with intention. Loads of people go to jiu-jitsu and they're like just trying to learn like whatever's happening in that moment, and they have no plan before or after. Like, this is, I'm talking about myself for most of the first 2 years at least. And then I was like, this is not what I do in gym. Like, I track my workouts, I leave notes for myself. So I started doing a bit of that with jiu-jitsu. I would like write little things I want to like practice, like Joseph Chen style half guard passing, or like, you know, like Levi Jones, like going around the side in Della Eva. Like, I would write that shit down. Sometimes I'd forget to do it, but there's intention there, right? And then like I tell my clients to record their training in the gym. I'd record my rolls, and I think I'd be really good, and I'd look really bad in the recording. So I'd be like, okay, so I move really slow. Like, I move really slow to regard. It's painful to watch how slow I am at regarding, like bringing my knees to my elbows and stuff. So I think the sign of intelligence is somebody that can take the learnings from one craft and apply it to another. Everybody has their definition of intelligence, right? But I really think if somebody can extrapolate their learnings from one field and then extrapolate the principles that allowed them to get good and apply it to another field, that's a sign of intelligence. That is the sign of intelligence, right? That's what humans did to take over the world. Jesus Christ. I've been chatting nonstop. This is pretty nuts. I think Chicken Garage Guy is actually Garage Chicken. Research is what I was good at. Oh, is it? What is Garage Chicken? Sorry, Chicken Garage, for calling you Chicken Garage. Chicken Garage is a pretty funny name. Oh, fuck. Chicken Garage, man. Karaage. Karaage is like it's like fried chicken but Japanese style, right? And they serve it with some mayo and some of that red powder. Yeah, I know that. But chicken garage is better. Uh, Amani Hutchinson, what do you think are the best upper body exercises for women? Best upper body exercises for women? I think for women, it would have to be chin ups and overhead press, some kind of shoulder press. Because the aesthetic look that women want is the ratio between it's also the V taper in a way. Not because you want the V taper, but because you want your hips to look wide and your shoulders to be wider than your waist, right? So a ripped back looks good. If you do back training and shoulder training specifically, those two are what's going to give you that V taper. Same thing for the men, actually. If you want to do shoulder, if you do overhead press and chin ups or pull ups, this would be the best combo. I would say even better than the incline. All right, guys, I am actually at the time limit now. This is pretty good. We got to the end. Last question here from Mark Jang. Hey man, do you have any tips on gaining muscle with pull ups without getting weighted? Love your content, bro. Thanks, Mark. Yeah. Um, Gaining muscle with pull ups is just training solid rep range. So 6 to 8. You could go up to 10, 12, 15 even if you don't plan on using weights. So the key thing here is progressive overload. And if you're not going to use adding weight as a variable of progressive overload, you got to look at other things, which is reps, range of motion, and time under tension, and maybe explosiveness. Okay. So uh, reps, so increasing reps, time under tension, how slow and how controlled you do it, range of motion, how deep you go, and explosiveness. All right. So play with those variables and you'll be in good shape. All right, guys. That was fun. I may very well make it a weekly thing. All right. Chicken Garage and Darth. You guys are you guys are welcome next week too. As are everyone else. Thanks, guys. This was really fun, and I'll see you next week. Gonna wrap it up here. Ciao. No way. This is this is Dorothy, by the way. Lo. Now I only answer to Chicken Garage. I gotta sleep too. Yeah, Dorothy is actually a part of my community, so I know her well. That's awesome, Chicken Garage. I will call you Chicken Garage now, Dorothy. Thanks, man. Have a good one. Thanks. Good night, guys. Gonna end it right here. 2 hours, 22 minutes. Ciao.